Yemo bibi akwaba na yemfombra yem platform we eso. Ivan Kyei innocent. They be a say or a very brilliant guy and always the analysis biano a top notch. Sa guy no, I don't know. So ye MPP ni ano ye NDC ni, but over from the look of things or a political activist and the one I know see a hono NDC for one finding ways and means now money in kokasa. You can be before the omobey arrogance or money in co. What in the mission I say all because of so kind of curry. I wish I for what's it? Mo find me why the baby have my dream. So that is it. Enti you reckon you could see the I wish I won't find me. Yenti in Senumra.
Creation and now rather some sort of a further burden on the taxpayer, because if you want to fight crime or you want to do some of these anti-corruption stuff, it is not about the many offices that you set up. It's about political will and commitment on the part of the political actors to act swiftly, because as it stands now, I think that if you are ready to resource the AG's department, there are sufficient and enough, there will be enough resources to be able to prosecute whatever case that we want to. But with the setup of this special prosecutor thing, since its creation up to now, I am not sure they've taken up any solid issue and they've been able to successfully prosecute it. So for me, I think, and the one aspect that we keep deceiving ourselves.
Do you want us to dissolve the office?
Definitely. And you see, we keep deceiving ourselves that it is an independent office. Who said it's independent? Go and read the act. It has never been independent since its creation up to now. That is why at some point in time, there was this attempt to, influence and manipulate the occupant of the office, which resulted in the resignation of Martin Amidu. And then this current occupant has on several occasions has told us in public that there have been such instances. There were instances where he was stopped from even doing his job. And I think for him, he has also been talking too much, because if you sit in the office and you think that the government of the day was impeding you from doing whatever that you were doing, you had a choice. Just announce to the people of this country, I am the special prosecutor, I want to do this, but the government is thwarting my effort, and for that particular reason, I am resigning. You put it on notice. That is what Martin Amidu did.
Is it entirely the case? Look at his justification for why the former finance minister had to go. Okay. He says, well, I was aware of it, but just imagine, this is one of the most powerful people in the country.
Exactly.
So how can I stop the former finance minister at the time when his relative was the president of the republic from going to seek medical leave?
Yeah, he wasn't just an ordinary person. This is a special prosecutor clothed with certain powers. So if you're having difficulty, that is why it is governance. You communicate, you put it on record. So today, if you are telling people that, oh, I attempted to do this, now some of the institutions are even saying he didn't do anything. You understand? So at the end of the day, people will not take you serious. People have trust issues. So for me, I think that the office of the special prosecutor is something that must be dissolved quickly. It is not about the occupant. I have nothing to do with him, but I think the office need to be. And then we focus on the AG's department.
Yeah, but that would then bring politics again, because at least if you have an independent office, you know the person is not politically tainted or motivated. The AG would often face criticism that he's doing political witch hunt, just as he's done in some of the press conferences. You had the minority say, yes, well, these are all
yes, but if there is willingness on the part of the state to prosecute some of these criminal cases, I am not sure some of these things will stop. And again, we can go ahead to decouple the office of the Attorney General from Ministry of Justice, so that we have a particular ministry with a particular focus, criminal prosecution. You understand? So these are some of the things. I think we must be very innovative. This rigid kind of, governance architecture that we've adopted for ourselves, we're not going anywhere. You understand? So I think we need to make corruption a high-risk venture and make sure that there are machineries in place that are ready to prosecute some of these things. If you go to America, some of the government appointees have been prosecuted by their own people. There was an instance where a sitting vice president was forced to resign because of issues of corruption. Next thing, the president got involved in Watergate and he was forced to resign. You understand? So we must begin to implement some of these tough measures here. But to achieve that, we need to put people of higher conviction in place to be able to, guard some of these institutions. Because when you talk about the institution being effective and robust, the institution doesn't have head, it doesn't have hand. It's about individuals with absolute conviction who are willing to defend and protect the Constitution. These are the individuals that we need. So I think people are sick and tired, because if you go out there and run public opinion or you speak to people, they tell you how frustrated they've become with the office of the special prosecutor. It has become so ineffective, and the talking is too much. Every day, this gentleman is on TV.
The kind of Atta case.
No, not at all, not at all. And he has been even very inconsistent with the kind of information that has been throwing out. I think he needs to get his things right, because you see, Ghanaians are fed up. At this point, there is this impression out that a certain group of individuals have stolen from this particular country, and that the state want accountability. We cannot just sit here and be putting people in jail. The only thing that can give credence to that is to subject them to criminal prosecution. I know that they let those people have their day in court, but you, as the person who is supposed to advance some of these things, I know that if nothing is coming out of it, then people will be frustrated. Because
this is where some members of the NPP have issues. They say, when you claim the former finance minister is evading accountability, it's not the case. It's not well.
Okay.
We've submitted some medical reports. Why should they still go after him?
I think initially that argument could be bought. But with the advances of time and where we've got into, I think if the finance minister is really willing to come to this country, because you see, he didn't just occupy any French position. He was the finance minister of this particular country. At the administrative block, he was sitting at the center within our financial machinery chain. So if issues of this nature comes up, and Ofori Atta is not bedridden. Yeah. He's not somebody who is bedridden and say, I cannot move around. You understand? I think the inertia on his part, the reluctance and the unwillingness on his part to show up is what is giving rise to some of these things. And you cannot begrudge people who are saying he's evading, because you are not making any attempt. And there was a time he was there was this issue in court, and there was this attempt to block the OSP from, making any further advances of bringing him back. You understand? So I think that he himself hasn't helped the matter, because now people will be pointing accusation fingers because of your reluctance and unwillingness to come to this country.
Do you see that happening, that he's reluctant in?
Oh, yes. It's quite clear, because like I said, he's not bedridden. Ofori Atta is capable, and if he want to come to this country, he can, but he's not willing to.
But give me your thoughts on this. So don't you feel that we're a bit over-fixated on the former finance minister? It's as though he's been condemned already.
No, he hasn't been condemned.
Even if he comes, it will be a long, winding court process again.
Yes, because he occupied a very sensitive position. Being a finance minister, he was at the center of our financial engineering and re-engineering kind of. So everything that happened in this country, most of it hinges on his whatever that he did. You understand? That is why he has become a person of interest in most of the criminal prosecutions that is being thrown around. Maybe his presence and further clarity to some of the matters will address some of these things. But you see, the unwillingness to come is what is giving, because this is politics. Whichever way you see it, people will have their opinion. You cannot begrudge them from expressing their opinion. And in politics, I keep telling people, unlike church, where people say, in politics, perceptions are very, very, very important. You understand? And once people begin to build some of these perception about the situation, there is absolutely nothing that you can do about it.
Do you think that if we had a different special prosecutor, maybe a different personality, the approach would have been different?
No, I think that the architecture of the office of the special prosecutor itself is problematic, because, like I said, if you have a government who is unwilling, so Kyei Jaben said the previous government was unwilling because the office wasn't independent, and it's still not independent. Because if you take up a case, the AG can discontinue the case if he's not interested, you understand? So where lies your independence, you understand? So we should not be deceiving ourselves. I'm saying that we are a country, if you really want to take up issues of prosecution seriously, let us decouple the AG from Ministry of Justice and make sure that we resource them and look at the regions. We can have regional, effective, robust regional AG offices that will be taking care of prosecution, because as we stand now, the current AG at the office, they are inundated with a lot of cases. Look at the number of prosecutions that are coming up. An Attorney General and your deputy, you cannot deal with the matter. But if you are able to do this kind of decentralization thing at the regional level, and we resource them with all the distance that they need, and I don't know that the court will be available, I think we'll be able to do away with some of these things. It's like we are just dancing around the whole thing. We are not making any progress. You understand? Next year, we will come back here and make the same argument. There will be no progress.
Really sad. Kwesi, where's our former finance minister? The majority in the House, they've been asking the minority. There are no answers. You are in the NPP as well. So many questions. Where is he, by the way?
Thank you very much. I think that, let me start by saying that every government appointee should have at the back of his or her mind that a day for accountability will come. And this goes to any person who has occupied any government office. I am not against accountability. I think that people we entrust our public funds, into their care, people we entrust our public offices into their hands should be held accountable one way or the other. Accountability is part of society. Accountability, even as Christians, we believe in accountability. And so I think that accountability is very, very important. And nobody should try to undermine accountability. In as much as we all commend and we all appreciate the importance of accountability, I also think that holding people accountable must go through the processes of law. The fact that you perceive that somebody has committed an offense doesn't necessarily mean that the person not constitute the guilt of a person. And so the fact that you are under a suspicion or under some form of suspicion that Mr. A has committed an offense, it doesn't necessarily mean that Mr. A has actually committed the offense. And that is why there is a whole criminal procedure. So you realize that the prosecution process in law school, they tell you it is criminal procedure. It is a procedure. You don't just wake up one day and say that Mr. A has committed an offense and so let's throw him behind bars. And the Constitution is also clear that a person is presumed innocent until proven guilty. In fact, before I come into the substance of Ken Ofori-Atta's matter, let me touch on the setup of the OSP. In all sincerity, I think that the intent and the purpose for setting up the OSP was a very good one. However, the office, has proven to be ineffective and a waste of taxpayers' money over time.
The NPP wasted our taxpayers' money.
I cannot say the NPP. I'm saying that over time. You see, I am saying over time. I am saying over time. It has proven to be ineffective. In the space of 1 year, if you want us to play politics with it, granted without admitting that the NPP failed with the establishment of the OSP's office. That is why the good people of this country voted against the NPP. In the space of 1 year, what has been the results of the OSP's office? How much money have we pumped into the OSP's office and what has been the results?
Press conference.
You see, sometimes let's not play propaganda and politics with some of these issues. I am saying that the purpose for establishing the office was a good one. However, over time, the office has proven to be ineffective and a waste of taxpayers' money.
So who's made it ineffective? Martin Amidu or...
I am saying over time. I am not going to apportion blames to it.
But
I'm saying over time. I'm not talking about... I'm not talking about the personalities. I'm talking about the office. I'm saying the office and you also say Martin Amidu. I'm saying the office. If I say Joy, I cannot. If I say Joy has proven to be ineffective, doesn't mean you are ineffective.
But what factor...
The person may be ineffective, but then the office itself... can prove to be very ineffective.
But who made it ineffective?
I am saying that the office has proven to be ineffective over time. It could be a managerial issue. It could be a problem with the head of institution. It could be a problem with funding.
In your estimation.
But my point is that the office has proven to be ineffective over time. You see, I also think that this entire Ken Ofori-Atta OSP matter has not been handled properly. If we feel Ken Ofori-Atta has committed an offense, let's take Ken Ofori-Atta through the right process. And the reason why I respectfully submit that the OSP's office has not handled Ken Ofori-Atta's matters properly is that Ken Ofori-Atta was declared a suspect and a wanted fugitive sometime in January 2025. Meanwhile, he was charged in November 2025, about 11 months down the line. This cannot be criminal procedure. You say somebody is a criminal, you hold a press conference to say the person is a thief, and you wait for 10 months before you arrange the person in court. It clearly points to but one irresistible conclusion that you have not gathered your evidence. You didn't gather your evidence about Ken Ofori-Atta before coming out to gaslight all of us to believe that Ken Ofori-Atta is indeed a criminal and has stolen government money. In fact, when I listened to Kyei Jabin in January 2025, I told a friend of mine that, hey, if indeed Ken Ofori-Atta did all these things, then it is a very dangerous thing. However, 10 months down the line, looking at the charge sheet, I do not think that Kyei Jabin or the OSP's office has been fed to Ken Ofori-Atta.
Really? Let's have some of the charges.
Yes, I don't think that
we have a summary. We have a summary of some of the charges. Probably we can get
because
multiple procurement breaches causing financial loss to the state, and the last one is using his public office for personal or private gains. You're saying that he's not committed any of these?
I haven't said so. Don't. If you want to say that, if you want to say that, say that. I think you're no, but don't.
My job is to ask you questions.
But now you are trying to put words in my mouth.
No, that's not what I'm doing.
The point.
But just to be sure about what you're saying.
Yes.
And look at the SML case, for instance.
Yeah.
No PPA approval.
No, you see, now the matter is sub judice. The matter is pending in court. So let's not go into the details as to whether or not there was PPA approval and whatsoever. Let's not go in. But all I'm saying is that we must respect the rights of people in this country. Persons, the OSP in itself is a creature of the Constitution. Of the Constitution. The OSP is existent because of the OSP's Act. And so I think that whatever the OSP does, the OSP must do so in accordance with stated law and procedure. If you think somebody has committed an offense, and you see, there is a form of misconception that the person has to be present before you can charge the person. In law, you can charge people in absentia. You can even trial people in absentia, convict them in absentia. Sednam Temaklo is a classical example. And so you do not need Ken Ofori-Atta to be physically present at the OSP's office to prove anything. In any case, the law doesn't require Ken Ofori-Atta to corroborate or even participate. Ken Ofori-Atta can decide to be silent throughout the prosecution. It is incumbent upon the prosecution to prove his guilt beyond reasonable doubt. And at that point, when the burden of proof shifts, that is where Ken Ofori-Atta can say, see, all the things you are saying are not true. This is my side of the story.
I asked you the question earlier about what Ken Ofori-Atta is because there was a directive by the former president, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, saying that all his former appointees must stay and account to the people. That was his directive.
But are you aware Ken Ofori-Atta's family issued a statement to say that they wrote to the chief of staff seeking permission to travel? Are you aware? So Ken Ofori-Atta didn't run away. He didn't pass through.
No one is saying here.
No, you are trying to create a perception that Ken Ofori-Atta
that's your interpretation.
Oh, yeah, that's my interpretation. Yes, that's my interpretation. Because if you ask me where is Ken Ofori-Atta, then I also tell you let's ask the chief of staff.
Really?
Because Ken Ofori-Atta's family wrote a press statement saying that they sought clearance from the chief of staff. And so if anybody wants to know their whereabouts, the chief of staff is aware. I'm not the one saying it. It is Ken Ofori-Atta's family. And up to now, maybe Elikem would tell us that there has been a disclaimer from the chief of staff's office, and then I would accept that. But as of now, we know that the chief of staff is aware of Ken Ofori-Atta's whereabouts.
The lawyers
and what we know is that he is seeking medical treatment. But you see, where is the question of
you've heard Frank Davis say he's okay now.
The question of the presence of
I'm saying you've heard Frank Davis saying he's okay now.
He may be okay, but I'm coming to the point.
So why is he not coming to the country? You believe in accountability.
Yes, I believe in accountability. But you see, you do not need to be present to be held accountable. That's not the point. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's the position of the law. It's not an excuse. It's not an excuse.
If you are a former finance minister and the state needs you, of all the people in this world, the former finance minister should be the last person.
You see, the OSP needs Ken Ofori-Atta to come and answer questions. Ken Ofori-Atta can assume the posturing that I will not come. I will not come, and so take me to court. Take me to court and I'll show up in court.
But the lawyers for Ken Ofori-Atta have written to the OSP of his willingness to do that, but he says Zoom.
And I'm saying that.
And the OSP says no, you just have to be present.
And I'm saying that point is immaterial because the position of the law does not suggest that as a suspect you have to show up. The suspect can decide not to corroborate.
If you're invited by the police service, as a lawyer, are you saying?
That's why it's an invitation.
Yeah, I'm asking.
You can decide
if you're invited,
What is the meaning of an invitation?
No, but I'm asking.
You can decide to
you are a lawyer, and that's why I'm asking you the question. If you're invited by the Ghana Police Service, for instance,
yes,
are you encouraging people to disregard such?
I'm not encouraging people, but it's within their right to say they will not honor them.
And if you do not go,
and the police has the
follow.
Of course, they have the power to arrest.
So
and that is why. And that is why I'm not encouraging. No, don't misquote me. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that if the police issues an invitation to you, it is within your right to honor or not to honor the invitation. That is why it is an invitation. But if you decide not to honor the invitation, the police has the power to come and arrest you in a Rambo style or in whichever style they deem necessary, or to initiate processes if you are out of town to extradite you or to bring you back home. The OSP did that in the matter of Ken Ofori-Atta. However, you have just told all of us here that from what we know, Ken Ofori-Atta is no more on the wanted list of the FBI. Is it the FBI?
The OSP has clarified, as I pointed out, that it's under review.
It's under review.
Yes.
So from what we know now, he's no more on the list of the wanted list of the.
Well, no,
FBI.
we can't tell. I don't speak for Interpol.
Okay, so
yeah.
Interpol.
Yeah.
Interpol. Thanks for the correction. From what we know now, or from what the OSP has told us, Ken Ofori-Atta's name is no more on the Interpol red alert list. That should tell us that, or that should communicate something to us that if the OSP did everything right, the Interpol wouldn't have removed Ken Ofori-Atta.
No, that's your assumption. That's your assumption, isn't it?
And that's fair. No, am I not entitled to my opinion?
You're just running around the issue.
No, I'm not running away from the issue because it is unfair.
As the end.
No, because it is unfair. It is unimaginable to ask me.
Yeah.
That where is Ken Ofori-Atta?
No, but because your party provided an official account of when you come.
No, to ask me where is Ken Ofori-Atta? It's unfair. When you know that Ken Ofori-Atta wrote to the chief of staff seeking permission to travel.
Okay, Elikem, let me hear
you. When you ask me where is Ken Ofori-Atta, I do not know the answer. You seek to solicit for me.
Where's Ken Ofori-Atta? The chief of staff is aware of where he is.
Bless, thank you. I listened carefully to my brother, and I thought what I knew was that lawyers conduct due diligence in their deliveries. And I thought my brother should know that coming from the NPP, Ken Ofori-Atta's supposed letter or supposed request to the chief of staff to leave the country was not to Julius Debra as chief of staff. And I think he should know better that this was to the former chief of staff. But they go out there pretending just leaving it chief of staff.
So because it's an office,
so,
government will continue.
But
Julius wasn't.
Yes,
but have I mentioned Julius?
No, you asked.
I said the chief of staff
in an office.
So let me give
but government is a continuum. I haven't mentioned Julius.
It is very good.
So don't misquote me. I haven't mentioned Julius.
That is why I will give clarity to it.
So
that it doesn't look
but you started on the premise of attacking that. You should conduct your due diligence. No, that's a personal attack. Because I have not mentioned Julius Debra. It's a personal attack on my reputation.
How come you were subjecting that they should rather ask me because the chief of staff I should know?
No, because you're in government.
Yeah, you're in government. No, so you could have put it. You're
in government. That's why I said that.
You could have put it right that the chief of staff's office is there. Let them make the inquiry from there. You made reference.
No, but you are in government. You are the government representative on the show.
It doesn't make me chief.
I have no contacts in government.
It doesn't make me chief.
No, I'm not saying you are chief.
No, you are. You see,
you are a big man. You are a deputy. You are a big man. You are not chief of staff, but you are a big man.
So let me give this clarity. The supposed permission or whatever Ken Ofori-Atta sought from the chief of staff was from the former chief of staff. And this is just to lay credence further to what Kyei Jabin was saying, that this was a time where these people were untouchable. Knowing very well what he was up to, before they handed over, he wrote to the then chief of staff to take permission to leave the country. I have maintained my position without law or with law that Ken Ofori-Atta is a criminal and must be brought back to this country, dead or alive. I am responsible for this statement. This is somebody who was everywhere clad in white, quoting Bible verses, saying all manner of things, making us look...
Allow the process.
I don't worry. I feel pained as a Ghanaian and a young
also
person.
on one side, the question is facing the NDC is, are you not overly suspicious? And permit me to ask that question, that Ken Ofori-Atta probably might have done something
but we all know there's so many
reason for which the NDC wants to be back in the country.
So many ills of Ken Ofori-Atta. If you have to mention the SML deal, the PDS, even the enterprise group, what was the name, Kyei. We all know all of these things. We can't pretend about this. And I don't believe in treating matters of this nature with velvet gloves. And I've always maintained my stand on this. If you've been found guilty or you are even suspected to be so, it is so shameful that Ofori Atta, after being the longest serving finance minister of this country, cannot bring himself.
The longest serving, Professor Kwesi Botwey.
Oh, he's not the longest. Well, has not brought himself and is not ready and willing to bring himself. Was Ofori Atta not sick in this country? Did we not see it visibly, physically? And he was still holding on to the position that he was not taking salary and therefore he can also not abandon his children. So suddenly what has gone wrong when you are supposed to be brought to book for accountability? That is another matter I'll come to. But in the first place, I still hold the personal view that the office of the special prosecutor was intended for bad. We knew the euphoria around it when they were campaigning, we will create the office of the special prosecutor, office of the special prosecutor. The intention was never a good one, because if you had somebody who is even a lawyer contesting to become president, wanting to rather create an office of the special prosecutor before being able to prosecute people for doing wrong, that is an ill motive. Because the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice Department can do that. You can rather even create a special prosecutions unit under the AG's office. I believe strongly in the dissolution of that office. It's a waste of the taxpayers' money, and Kyei Jabin has been so talkative. And maybe, if the NPP want to attack these people, then we should be questioning what informed their decisions to elect or appoint these square pegs into the round holes.
You think it was intentional?
Well, yes, I believe it was intentional. The purpose was to hound the previous administration. The former office holder, Martin Amidu, made us know. Did he not make us know how Ofori Atta will call him or want to come to visit him and want him to twist things in a certain way? Did we not hear that in this country? And then in the end, he made us know that the then president was the mother serpent of corruption. Then all hell broke loose because they didn't expect it. They were thinking that Martin Amidu was so bitter and therefore without clarity of mind, he would just be bulldozing his way to go after the NDC people. Martin Amidu would always pay attention to due diligence. And when now shove came to push and he had to do what was right, then they now felt they had to frustrate him and he had to resign. That resignation alone was very shameful and a major blot on the integrity or the integrity of President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the NPP. Then came another one. They were praising again Kyei Jabin, who we are told is one of the best, etc. It's always been press conferences and a lot of talk and doing nothing. I believe that office should be dissolved with immediate effect. I believe that we should rather create a special prosecutions unit, whatever, under the AG.
So the OSP office should be merged?
There's nothing like such independence as is being said by them when they established that. We have seen over the past 8 years that there was no independence. Finally, even Kyei Jabin, excuse me, but the coward that he was couldn't say the things that were militating against his progress. Maybe because he feared for his life anyways. Maybe. But he has demonstrated again that he was not independent and was a coward. So he waited until they have left office and now he's telling us that at the time this was the most powerful people, you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. What stopped you from briefing us, the public, about what challenges you were facing at the time? You couldn't tell us all of this. Then if now you are suddenly telling us all of this, it means that, are you saying, if we, the current government, which I know will never be the case, President Mahama will not endorse that. It's also frustrating you. You will keep quiet and not say it until maybe the next 4 years or next 8 years or 12 years when this government
is actually expiring soon.
Well, you see. Yeah. So this is a major issue, I feel that...
So why don't we wait, allow his tenure to expire, and then we perhaps dissolve the office?
Well, I don't know, but every single day that office is running is a lot of a burden on the public purse.
Oh, really? Is it that much?
Oh, I don't want to care to know, but people are being paid out from that, and so we are not seeing any results. We are not seeing any results. And so
if we shut down that office, who then is going to prosecute the former finance minister? You want the AG to do that?
The AG can do that. I mean, all over the world, do they have a special prosecutor's office before prosecuting even former presidents in some countries? Chiluba and the rest you can make mention of. What happened? We are just treating this matter. Look, the intent, I want to make it clear here, was never a good one. The intent behind the whole special prosecutor thing was a very ill motive. Because in the first place, don't forget that then candidate Akufo-Addo even said that when he assumes office, he was going to what? Decouple the Attorney General and the Minister of Justice office. He couldn't do that, but he rather brought an addition that was making the whole work murkier. I mean, like you said, special prosecutor can initiate a process and the Attorney General will just halt it. What happens then? And so there was no political will. Yeah. There was only an intention to hound or to hunt the previous administration, which unfortunately failed because the very person they put there, they thought was bitter. They thought he was going to go ruthlessly after his own people. Meanwhile, there was no basis. He may have personal issues, which he is very frank and open with. That does not mean that he holds a strong view against the entirety of the National Democratic Congress or wrongly against people. Yeah. And so that it is now more about even competence, the need for these. And I don't think that we need to treat this matter kindly at all. Yeah. It's shameful what Ken Ofori-Atta is doing. He's embarrassing himself and his entire family. I must say this, his entire family. Because this is somebody who put himself on that pedestal, soft-spoken, clad in white, quoting Bible verses, making us believe that God was everything, and all that nonsense was just to swindle all of us. Today, come to be accountable, you don't want to. And I'm repeating for the last time, I believe strongly that Ken Ofori-Atta is a criminal, and he must be brought to book, brought to this country, dead or alive.
But when you say that, that's a strongly worded
Yes,
statement.
it is my belief. I'm not even accusing him of being criminal. But I believe in my mind that he is criminal.
You're not being fair to him. Why not wait, Elikem, for the court processes to be...
We are waiting. We are waiting.
Well, anyway, can I come in? Okay. I think that the word criminal has never been a legal invention for somebody to be prosecuted or found guilty by a court before you go a criminal. It has never been a legal invention. Yes. If you take the dictionary, it has its raw meaning. It was adopted by law, but it has never been a legal creation. So when somebody calls somebody a criminal, don't look at the other way around.
You're only looking at it from the legal perspective.
And again, I think the fixation why people are so much on Ken Ofori-Atta case. It's not just the people. Even within the MPP, people have forgotten about that. Within the MPP, there was a deliberate attempt by a certain group of MPs that they were fed up with the actions and the inactions of the gentleman. They wrote to the president and they wanted him to boot the gentleman out. So it's not just about Ghanaians, because the MPP, some people, even his fellow parliamentarians, were sick and tired of the raptures of the gentleman, because he felt so entitled that he was not accountable to anybody, because this is a gentleman whose uncle has become president. He has been called upon.
He was even more powerful than the vice president, but the vice president could never man up.
Yes. So he was virtually playing God, even over his own party people. So this is the time. And this comes to this point. We live in a country where we don't put men of integrity, men of conviction into sensitive position. Because in all of these things, you can shame people by saying, hey, I didn't do anything, I'm available, let's do this. You understand? Because your colleagues, some of the people in the MPP who serve, even the president himself is in the country. President Akufo-Addo, he's in the country. And the vice president is in Ghana. So what is it? This I am sick card that he's playing, it has now been revealed that he's good, he's not bedridden, and he can come back to this country. So he is rather fueling the perception. So it's not as if people are fixating. And then my brother made mention of it has now been revealed that he's good, he's not bedridden, and he can come back to this country. So he is rather fueling the perception. So it's not as if people are fixating. And then my brother made mention of trying absentia. You see, the court is a place of reasoning. If you follow the Nuremberg trial after the Nazis' excesses, then to try somebody in absentia, you need to adduce evidence to satisfy the court that indeed the person is not available. You have tried all.
An extra layer of
exactly. So it's not an option you can just go for and say, I'm trying the person absentia. The office of the special prosecutor and the AG need to start something, initiate something. If it becomes unsuccessful, then you can adduce that as an evidence and prove to the court that I did all that I could. But you cannot just start by saying, I'm going to try the person in absentia. So I think that it is Ken Ofori who has brought all these things upon himself. Because I believe that if he's a person of high morals, a person of conviction, he should rather be willing to come and account to the people of this country. Because after all, you've done nothing. You understand? But because maybe he knows what he's done, and he think maybe he's aware he cannot survive, and that is why he's running away. And I think that we need to advance the processes. Our engagement with the U.S. counterpart has to be, exactly, just to bring him back, because the processes that we need to go through to bring him back is quite cumbersome, because you need to satisfy the DOG in America and then the State Department, furnish them with evidence that will convince them that this is not a political witch hunting, and then the indictment are absolutely granted in law that are criminal in Ghana, and the same thing should be criminal in America. You understand? Okay. So I think the processes are quite heavy. We must begin to look at it and address it in the way that we can.
I was going to go to the audience so Kwesi can respond to all the yes, probably just
a quick one for the purposes of clarity and education. Ivan sought to exonerate CEO for saying that even in law, a criminal is not somebody who has been convicted of an offense. That is the position in law.
No. I'm saying
Let him
I'm saying that. Look at the context we are sitting. We are not living in a legal court. This is a governance.
Yes, I agree. But I'm saying that I agree. No, in a governance, whether
you can use the word criminal.
Come on.
Okay. Let me explain something to you. The court.
I'll give you the time.
No. Listen. Court do not pronounce people criminals.
Yes.
The court will only legitimize whatever you have done, and the subsequent punishment will be handed to you. No court will pronounce because you have been convicted you are a criminal. No. So the word criminal is an English invention. It's not a legal invention for you to.
So when you use the word criminal, it comes in two folds: criminal act, criminal persons.
Okay.
When we say somebody has committed a criminal act, it means the person has committed an offense or has engaged in an act or omission contrary to law. Simple as that. Simple as that.
In a judicial contest. Judicial contest. Good.
I'm talking about law here.
Okay.
And when we say somebody is a criminal person or a criminal, as we loosely use, is somebody who has been found guilty of a criminal offense or a criminal charge or a criminal activity. And so to say somebody is a criminal, he said Ken Ofori is a criminal. It means Ken Ofori has been convicted or has...
Is that your understanding?
No, that is the position of the law. That's not my understanding. Google. Everybody can Google the meaning of criminal. Look at the Black's Law Dictionary. Look at Webster's Dictionary. It's not my invention. That is the position of the law. And so to say somebody is a criminal means a person who has been... And I'm sure our studio audience will fact check all of us sitting here. Google who a criminal is. It's a person who has been convicted by a court of competent jurisdiction. Now, my seniors also make another point, and I'm actually confused here, that the AG they are trying to create the perception that the AG has stampeded the OSP in the past by truncating certain processes started by the OSP. I am not aware of any process that has been truncated that was started by the AG and has been truncated by the OSP. Both of you have made that allegation. And so,
I'm just helping you with the explanations for what criminal means. There are two meanings, just as I was saying. There's one that relates to crime, which is a person committed of crime. There's one relating to crime, which we are told now. Then there's the second meaning to it, which is anyone or an action or a situation deplorable and shocking.
Exactly.
Would you like to know which one?
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. For clarity. That's why I said that. It comes in two you know, I would say, am I sitting in a courtroom? And then the person is no, the reason why, no, the reason why, hold on, judges, hold on, you see, Alikem.
No, you asked us.
Yes.
That's why.
I agree, but your explanation does not do justice to what Alikem said. No, Alikem could have said, no, hold on. Alikem could have said, Ofori has engaged in criminal act. I wouldn't have a problem with that.
I wouldn't say that.
Alikem said, Ofori what you read, who is a criminal? Who is a criminal?
That's what I'm saying.
No, who is a criminal?
Hold on, I'm saying.
Yes, who is a criminal?
That you asked us to give you the two explanations.
Right.
And I've got the two explanations.
From which source?
One relating. You asked us, we should just check.
You asked that people should Google.
That's what I'm doing.
Okay, so what did you check?
And my phone is giving me two explanations, just as Ivan was saying. The first part dealing with a crime, a person who's committed a crime. It didn't even add a court to it. Then you have relating to crime. That's a further explanation to that. The second part talks about an action or a situation which is deplorable and shocking.
That is a criminal act. That's not up for a debate. No, that's not up for a debate. No, that's not up for a debate. No, you see. I don't.
The word is criminal.
Let's leave it at that. Anyway, if anybody cares, let them take me on. And I want to repeat this.
Anyway, what you asked me to do.
No, but you. I don't want to say.
No, but you can. So you don't doubt me. The two explanations there for you. And anyone at all.
I just want
as criminal in law. He said Koyata is a criminal. What does it mean to say somebody is a criminal?
So that's why. What does it mean to say criminal? And I searched that for you.
Anyway,
yes. Just one other point.
So I was making a point that I was making a point that they both make the claim that the AG has in past stampeded the OSP by truncating processes.
I didn't say that.
No, you said the AG. You said the AG. No. They peddled that propaganda. They made the point that both of them made the point that. The OSP's office is not independent.
Okay.
And that there are times that the AG has truncated processes started by the they didn't use the word truncated.
They refer to the article.
They didn't use the word
article of Martin Amidu and what Kyei
himself said. What the two of them said. They said it.
But if you say their hands were tied, doesn't mean that the AG is interfering in the work of the OSP. That's not what it means. Ivan made reference to it. You have also made reference to it.
Martin Amidu is on.
They have both made reference to it.
Martin Amidu is on record to have said that there was some interference. People had
from the AG,
no, from the government,
from the AG government,
and he mentioned some names, even Ken Ofori
from government. Did Martin Amidu say? No, did Martin Amidu say the AG is interfering?
No, he said government.
Yeah.
No, but you people said AG.
I never mentioned AG.
I never mentioned. You people replay it. You can play back.
Let them replay it to you. Kwanuma press conference.
Anyway,
the special prosecutor.
And again, to be fair to the special prosecutor, I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the Kyei
special. You're not a fan of him.
I'm not a fan of him, even though he's
prosecuting.
No, even though he's a very good lecturer, not because he's prosecuting Ofori, because of how he's handling matters.
Yeah.
But if we say because Kyei Jaben is organizing press conferences, and so by virtue of his approach to organize press conferences makes him an ineffective and incompetent special prosecutor, our AG is doing the same thing. Is our AG not organizing press conferences? Is our AG not convicting people in the media and even inviting people to come and play bargain in the media? And so if organizing press conferences is the measure for incompetence and ineffectiveness, with the greatest of respect, colleagues here are trying to suggest that the AG is being incompetent, but I do not agree that the AG is incompetent. And so let's not say that because somebody is organizing press conferences, it means the person is incompetent. No, we can face the realities of the matter. We can face the realities of the matter. So if
we'll come back and make your own allegations.
No, you are trying to suggest that the AG is incompetent.
Clarify that. Which of the when the word criminal, you want to clarify which of them are you?
I would rather want to reinforce that.
Reinforce.
Okay. Believe that Ken Ofori is a criminal.
Okay. We're taking a break here on Prime Insight. We'll be back. Please stay with us, and I'll get the audience
influence, and it should be timely also, and it should be served with due diligence with respect to the former finance minister. But then, if extradition is required, it should follow proper international procedures as well. But then, this case should give a clear scenario to all political appointees and former political appointees that indeed no one is above the law. Everyone can be held accountable. But then for the former finance minister, Atta, as a true Christian as he is, I think he should believe that.
He told you his religion?
You said?
Okay, yeah, he quotes Bible.
Yeah, he quotes the Bible, so he's a Christian.
Okay, he's a
Christian.
His
no, we know it's a matter of
sure.
You have to not to take positions.
As a journalist,
I don't know.
You can quote the Bible, it does not mean you are a Christian.
Yeah, sometimes.
Okay.
And we all believe that he is. So I think he should believe that Emmanuel, God is with him. And then Ebenezer, how far God has brought him. So he should just show himself to Ghanaians that hey, I'm here, because the whole country is talking about you. And as a Christian, how do you feel?
Yeah.
So I think this matter should just be a clear indication to him to just prove herself to Ghanaians. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Right. You also have a take on this, I believe.
All right.
Yeah.
So I think now Ghanaians have the perception that Atta is waiting for the NPP government to come into power so that the case will be made a foolish case. But
he hasn't said that. He says it's not well.
Yes,
you've seen the letter from
I'm saying that.
You've seen the comment from the party saying that he'll be present once he's done with treatment. What more evidence do you need?
So I'm saying that the Ghanaians now have the perception
the
that
perception, right? Okay.
The former finance minister is waiting for the NPP government to come into power, and then the case will be made a foolish case. But what I want to say is that Honorable Ken has a family, and I believe that he also has a children. That one day in the coming days, they will be made a reference to that your father was a finance minister, and this and that was being accused, but he couldn't come out to defend this case. So I believe that he should come out and then defend his integrity. If he believes that he has that integrity, he should come out to defend that integrity. That's what I want to say.
I see. Any more views?
For me, I would say, you see, the way Ofori presented himself, it took me very hard for me to even realize that it will be very hard for him to come as we are calling him to be accountable. You see, I believe that we all as human beings has integrity, and then that forms part of us as human beings. Irrespective of anything, you maintain your integrity to the extent that people won't talk that bad about you. So if he really respects his integrity and that really wants his family to be at peace, I think he should come and then have something to say. Yeah.
Are you sure that some more charges will not be brought against him if he enters?
See, that is to clear up space and then make him a man who gets it. You see, a man faces issues with his bare hands and then not to run away. That is what, yes, exactly. To be a man of himself and then come and
sometimes you have to be a wise man. I'm not saying
but I'm just saying you don't want Atta to come back.
Sometimes
I see you don't want Ofori Atta to come back. You don't want Ofori Atta to come back. Ofori Atta has listened to you.
I think that you see, we live in a decent democratic dispensation, in as much as we are saying all these things. Right. There could be the other side. Ofori Atta may not even be guilty. You understand? Just have your day in court. Prove your innocence. It's as simple as that. We are not living in some...
Ivan, if you were Ofori Atta in this environment...
Ivan, not to cut you, but to be fair, Ofori Atta has not indicated anywhere that he will show up in court.
No,
in court. The OSP, being invited to the OSP is different from being charged in court.
Yes. So will he enter appearance?
So my focus is...
No, even in criminal prosecutions, you don't enter appearance. They only take your plea as to whether you are guilty or not guilty.
So I'm talking about actions and inactions that communicate. You understand? Right. And that is what all of them are talking about. So you can come and shame everybody. You understand? So now the perception is that you are guilty.
Evan, if you are Ofori Atta, would you come?
Oh, definitely. You come and shame definitely, because if you have trust in our criminal jurisprudence and you think that the process will be fair to you, then you have a good case, I will be urging to come and prove myself, because this thing, if he doesn't come, it's going to be some sort of an indelible imprint on his generation, because your child may go to school, your father stole our money and run away. you see that kind of thing. Yes, no. We live in a society, it's possible people may make such a reference, it may not be true, but how do you rebut it? It will be a presumption which will be rebutted, but who is going to rebut it? Because in reality, he didn't come. Yeah. You understand? So I think he will do himself good if he comes around and then clear all these things, bro. And then
before the gentleman in blue comes in, we are in blue, so let me take some of your time. I think that, you see, one of the reasons why, this is my personal opinion, why Ken Ofori-Atta has been hesitant in responding to the OSP's call to be present in Ghana is because of the way the OSP has handled this matter right from the start. You realize that the entire matter has been anchored on, I think, bitterness, I think inconsistencies, I think hate.
Where's the bitterness?
Yes. I think, you see, because you declare somebody a wanted fugitive, the Interpol removes the person from the Interpol's red notice. You fail to address Ghanaians that the person has been, Interpol is reviewing its mechanisms, and so the person has been taken off. But when the person was posted there, you organized the press conference to tell the whole world that this is what Interpol has done to Ken Ofori-Atta. And so you realize that the OSP has taken a position against Ken Ofori-Atta, and also considering the recent bail conditions that law enforcement agencies place on people, maybe it is his fear that today Ken Ofori-Atta comes to Ghana and his bail condition is to go and bring the national card. This government is capable of doing the impossible. Yourself, your AG has cleared the national cathedral. I mentioned the national cathedral because the AG has cleared the national cathedral payment. But I'm saying that this government is possible of imposing an impossible bail condition. Do you understand? And so Ken Ofori-Atta also considering his health and also taking advice from you that he should be a wise man. Sure, that is why he has taken the position he has taken. Okay. So I'm sure he's watching and he has taken your position. He wants to be a wise man. In fact, the Bible admonishes us to be wise men. So thank you for reminding Ken Ofori-Atta that he should be a wise man.
And the same Bible says good names is better than
the good name will be proven in court, not at the OSP's office.
In all honesty, I think the OSP hasn't conducted himself well with regards to this Ken Ofori-Atta. If when he's conducting his press conference, you look at the demeanor, you look at the language, you look at the tone.
Angry.
Sometimes it takes me aback, and I think he should do better. Right. And that feed into the larger core that he should rather be replaced. And I think the AG should take custody of this Ken Ofori-Atta
you want the AG to take it?
Oh, yeah, full custody and prosecute it. I think that would be better.
Well, it's already in court.
The gentleman in blue.
So, I'll come to Elikem. Let me just take your thoughts and then
I was following the conversation very well. And I think the special prosecutor have not been fair to us because you said the person have accepted to do Zoom or be online with you for a meeting, but you rejected it. Why do you want in person? Because the person wants to be accountable. But why in person? That's where I'm confused and I don't get it.
But we also never know what the OSP
That's a very good point. No, you want to arrest him, give him some gargantua bail condition so that Ken Ofori-Atta cannot forfeit. Oh no, that's the order of the day. No. That is what they are doing to former appointees. That's the reality. Let's not play us.
That is what they've been doing to everyone.
As for Elikem's bail condition, you have to bring the Nimrim Forest. Elikem.
There's some motive behind it.
Oh, there's some motive. Clearly, there's some motive.
Ghana is a funny country.
Accept the meeting to be Zoom so that we all know.
Yeah, but they don't treat others that way. They don't give Zoom interviews to others.
Oh no, but even in court, Zoom is even admissible.
I get that.
Yes, Zoom evidence is admissible. Yeah. So I mean, I don't think it's a new invention that has never happened before. Today in court, electronic evidence is admissible.
Yeah. So just land on the point for me quickly. Your colleague wanted to make a quick intervention. Then
Ken Ofori-Atta really thinks that he's guilty of all these charges. I think coming with him shouldn't be a problem. When you are being accused of the fact that you are being accused of certain things doesn't mean that you are guilty, right? But you showing up, you see, being the former finance minister is something. It's the mainstream of this nation. So showing up is something different. It gives you confidence. It gives you a different picture out there. Yeah. So I think it should show up. Still show up.
Let me come to Elikem.
Before you come to Elikem, I agree with all of you that Ken Ofori-Atta should show up. But my fear, as a citizen of this country, is how former appointees who are perceived to be
giving very stringent bail conditions.
Are you aware that the National Service Boss is still in Yoko custody because he has been unable to fulfill?
Would you come?
Oh, definitely. Definitely, because if you have trust in our criminal jurisprudence and you think that the process will be fair to you, then you have a good case, I will be urging to come and prove myself, because this thing, if he doesn't come, it's going to be some sort of an indelible imprint on his generation, because your child may go to school, your father stole our money and ran away. you see that kind of thing? Yes, we live in a society, it's possible people may make such a reference, it may not be true, but how do you rebut it? It will be a presumption which will be rebuttable, but who is going to rebut it? Because in reality, he didn't come. Yeah. You understand? So I think he will do himself good if he comes around and then clear all these things, and then
before the gentleman in blue comes in, we are in blue, so let me take some of your time. I think that, you see, one of the reasons why, this is my personal opinion, why Ofori has been hesitant in responding to the OSP's call to be present in Ghana is because of the way the OSP has handled this matter right from the start. You realize that the entire matter has been anchored on, I think, bitterness, I think inconsistencies, I think hate.
Where's the bitterness?
Yes. I think, you see, because you declare somebody a wanted fugitive, the Interpol removes the person from the Interpol's red notice. You fail to address Ghanaians that the person has been, Interpol is reviewing its mechanisms, and so the person has been taken off. But when the person was posted there, you organized the press conference to tell the whole world that this is what Interpol has done to Ofori. And so you realize that the OSP has taken a position against Ofori, and also considering the recent bail conditions that law enforcement agencies place on people, maybe it is his fear that today Ofori comes to Ghana and his bail condition is to go and bring the National Cathedral. This government is capable of this government is capable of doing the impossible. Your AG has cleared the National Cathedral. I mentioned the National Cathedral because the AG has cleared the National Cathedral payment. But I'm saying that this government is possible of imposing an impossible bail condition. You understand? And so Ofori also considering his health and also taking advice from you that he should be a wise man. Sure, that is why he has taken the position he has taken. Okay. So I'm sure he's watching and he has taken your position. He wants to be a wise man. In fact, the Bible admonishes us to be wise men. So thank you for reminding Ofori that he should be a wise man.
And the same Bible says good names is better than
the good name will be proven in court, not at the OSP's office.
In all honesty, I think the OSP hasn't conducted himself well with regards to this Ofori matter. If when he's conducting his press conference, you look at the demeanor, you look at the language, you look at the tone.
Angry.
Sometimes it takes me aback, and I think he should do better. Right. And that feed into the larger call that he should rather be replaced. And I think the AG should take custody of this.
You want the AG to take it?
Oh, full custody and prosecute it. I think that would be better.
It's already in court.
The gentleman in blue.
So I'll come to Elikem. Let me just take your thoughts and then I give the last
the conversation very well. And I think the special prosecutor have not been fair to us, because you said the person have accepted to do Zoom or be online with you for a meeting, but you rejected it. Why do you want in person? Because the person wants to be accountable. But why in person? That's where I'm confused and I don't get it.
But we also never know what the OSP
wanted. That's a very good point. No, you want to arrest him, give him some gargantua bail condition so that Ofori cannot forfeit. Oh no, that's the order of the day. No. That is what they are doing to former appointees. That's the reality. Let's not play us.
That is what they've been doing to everyone.
As for Elikem's bail condition, you have to bring the Nimrim Forest. Elikem.
There is some motive behind it.
Oh, there is some motive. Clearly, there is some motive.
Ghana is a funny country.
Accept the meeting to be Zoom so that we all know.
Yeah, but they don't treat others that way. They don't give Zoom interviews to others.
Oh no, but even in court, Zoom is even admissible.
I get that.
Yes, Zoom evidence is admissible. So I mean, I don't think it's a new invention that has never happened before.
I see.
Today in court, people, electronic evidence is admissible.
Just land on the point for me quickly. Your colleague wanted to make a quick intervention. Then
Ken Ofori-Atta really thinks that he's guilty of all these charges. I think coming with him shouldn't be a problem. When you are being accused of the fact that you are being accused of certain things doesn't mean that you are guilty, right? But you showing up, you see, being the former finance minister is something. It's the mainstream of this nation. So showing up is something different. It gives you confidence. It gives you a different picture out there. So I think it should show up. Still, you should show up.
Before you come to Elekem, I agree with all of you that Ken Ofori-Atta should show up. But my fear, as a citizen of this country, is how former appointees who are perceived to be
giving very stringent bail conditions.
Are you aware that the National Service Boss is still in Yoko custody because he has been unable to fulfill his
bail condition.
800 million Ghana cedis bail condition with 2 sureties to be justified? He's been in custody for close to 4 weeks.
The Yoko boss says we should always measure the cases.
I agree. I agree we should measure it. But you see, some of these bail conditions, in my respectful opinion, are unrealistic. Not high, are unrealistic. In this country, who has a property worth 800 million?
Then you shouldn't appropriate unrealistic amount of money.
No, they are suspicions.
No,
you see, they are in court for monies that they are suspected
on that.
No. The amount for
is a suspicion.
It's suspicion. But the bail condition is not a suspicion.
But you have been prosecuted based on
so you see, the challenge is that the point I'm making is that the challenge is that the pre-trial punishment you are made to go through because of bail conditions is what may be scaring him. Because it looks like it's become a pattern.
It's
become a pattern.
If you are under detention, are we assuming that your rights are being curtailed automatically or you're being abused?
Not under detention, but my brother, there is no place like home. So let's not compare under detention with home. No. Let's not compare that. Would you like to work from detention?
I want to work from the studio.
I recall a post by one Vincent Asafua, and a member of parliament. I think one of the appointees was also being tried or being, I've forgotten the case, just recently. And he wrote that if he never benefited in any way from whatever, so he's not going to fight for that person. And you see, as
he said it was a force.
Oh no, I saw his post. He's my good friend.
But he issued a disclaimer, so let's also be fair.
Well, if he did issue a disclaimer, I didn't see it, but since you are saying so, but I recall that very well. And it brings my mind to fact check again that I'm surprised that up to now there are no persons to mobilize in support of the NSS boss. Probably it could be that
the NPP says they are in opposition. They don't have that.
No. You see,
when Wontumi was sent there, you had the people go there.
Wontumi bail condition was 50 million. 50 million. This is 800 million. 51, 50 baku.
The amount of money is over 2 billion.
Have you seen 800 million?
2 billion.
No, you will see if it's.
You live in a worth of. Do you have a property worth 800 million?
But you're in the NPP, you should mobilize. It's a big party.
No, it's not about mobilizing. It's about having that property. You understand?
You see, one thing which is known to many Ghanaians today out there watching us is that the NPP was very corrupt, too arrogant, and very scandalous when they had power. And I rejoice rather when I notice each time that till date, they have not come to terms with the fact of the reasons why they were kicked out of government. And so when I hear their statements and demeanor, etc., I rejoice because I want them to continue that way. And so Ghanaians will continue to punish them. But people who need to be brought to book must be brought to book. I believe so. As an appointee of President John Mahama, I want to make sure that when I am leaving office, with heads high, I am living in this country, if called, why do I need to be so corrupt to think that I must stash money somewhere when all we need is to have proper systems that works to benefit everybody? If you give your children the best education, they can fly to wherever. But people suddenly feel, and let me tell you, it is making politics become so attractive to the young people, not because they want to do good, but because they think it is an avenue to make quick money and not even be accountable, still be reckless and get away with it. You either have to play football, have your own private business and crooked ways, or do politics. And you ask many people who are interested in doing politics.
I wonder why football, though.
Yeah, well, because footballers are paid. I mean,
they are paid.
just as you are here for instance.
Ambitious. Don't mind him.
No, yes, it's good.
Yes, it's good to make money like Kudus. It's not wrong money.
No,
it's good money. Yes.
You see, there are
lawyers who are making good money.
You even have a call from somebody.
S568 downstairs.
Oh, it's not mine, please.
You even have somebody. You even have somebody reach out to you. Maybe let's say after this program, tell you, I admire your presentation. I want to be a communicator. I want to be, and some even tell. But you know when you engage them, you realize that it's because of some selfish interest that they want to do what they want to do. And where are we heading to as a country? It is very disastrous. I am still even young, but I worry for those who are younger and up and coming because it means that there's no orientation on the path to take for a country. Our moral fiber is completely tattered, and we must be very careful about this.
You see, as we go, just to add on to what Elikem said, I agree with him that our moral fiber is being tattered. But
so that is it. Enti and Sema Ivan Kyei innocent. Eka. You see, I don't know the reason why. Joy Pram ye or a media house doing. I think say multimedia. Okay. Say Joy News you see a multimedia. Ena insurance you multimedia. Ena asempa you multimedia. So they have one thing in common, and do know that one thing, and any propaganda, hosting kind of quarry. Majority of multimedia hosts, kind of quarry, mega mena make, or become catch and say mega mena maker. Kind of quarry for first person, I mind in a cabana santi. Omahine kwabena santin kan kore de bia obetina se no mo kai se jendem bi bae o se MMDC so mutu omoka join the money mahama bae we increase omo wey omo salary omo gi 35,000 obeje di se Erikopoku our food and agricultural minister eko ho no na obi se asa the same question omahine enya kokodro kan se an oro no kan ewi akiri ena honorable Erikopoku eto no boase echeche nsemu na omanye ne kwabena santi o say whichever way you take it. You see, sometimes Ofori to no chomwa na asa ombeso omodi katashibi ebribrim enima bi so the same thing ena obi enso esua fi omanye ne wo. And first na Samson lady eyin ne ana bibisa join this omoka say news file. You see, I have no more dreams or Ghana for. You have a reputation to what? Protect. You have a dignity to protect. And you know, Obet now ye now your home star. I don't know na free. What will you gain when you lie on politicians, especially NDC for year you must say now bet now say we host be kind of crowd say minti ase manika kilo furata if you come deliberately in the name of say we sika waye niemu hunu waye se bi niemu bi emfata he is going to seek for what? Asylum. Yes, Kinofrata, he knows very well, and I say he knows very well say na okon e sika wia and I say e kata se she project kan biem die bi enti e o man akoye sometimes me twi ni me bufu aya nemba me bufu a me twi nemba ene me ne ha ma wen en my friends o mekasa obi be ka se mega wire da be na one mpacho date no me nyan ware yet bets on say adida you just have me matamfo nyame. Anyway, that is it. Obeji matem ni pamra he yesu kra bonus me. All right, so just keep it. That is just by the way. But no question here can say Kinofrata knows very well. And now dear Kosi OSP Kinofrata ekono ukruma. Entanya fe na wobeka say me the charges bia ko bono me the enti first odini ko red notice ewo Interpol so na charges ban at the bono. This is common sense. Enti you can say we now you host now court now no mka say o many pardon kind of because Kinofrata ye fugitive of justice. I don't get it. And this is the time when we need to punish MPP people. I'm telling you, we need to punish them severely by keeping them in opposition for about a decade. I was here my MPP for opposition for about a decade because they have no lesson to learn. Even when they are in opposition, they are what? Showcasing their extravagant life. Show some arrogant behavior. TV so radio so sometimes I hear I hear they have never learned their lesson and they will never learn their lesson. And Kinofrata de oni OSP sense no. We all know, and this is open secret. Taking Frata onye na adwin so Ghana because of the dumadi wedi, because of adia on one kasatina finance ministry ho ye. Enkofo krata was insane ye, say other ministries are no ni kwanse nka was all the pensi so paper so assign no oye ni na. Enti onu ani so mba. Oye ni de mba. I mean for me, shawadwo comment section ni. Hanum area number 1 authentic platform Mega TV. We saw any interruption be by biano from my wife to be no me. What you say? Sometimes we'll be who we screen so why don't worry, we'll be who me didn't bet you. Say Mega TV family dear. Mean to me enko we do about without showing the face to you guys. What you say? Mado for seven say ebi Germany, ebi UK, mamu Canada, US. All right, so that is the Chawadjo comment section name. Agudi Nkwawai. No hard feelings. All right, bye bye.